Hello, welcome to this video. All right, I'm talking about a topic that is so important, and it is one that I love. It is about the message in menopause. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, watch this video, because I really believe that this midlife change has a message for us. So it's a time when we are to listen to our body and to make some changes. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. So don't take it like, this is going to be all fluff and it's not going to have any content. She's not going to tell me how to get rid of hot flashes or how to do this. You must listen to this, because when you get it, and it makes going through this phase so much easier, right? And so I've discovered this. I mean, it is something that I kind of always thought about, but through my journey through this phase of life and all the crazy symptoms I went through, it was also a time of a great change in my life, because I decided that I didn't want to feel the way I felt. I didn't want to have that weight gain that they said was so normal during this phase of life. I wanted my energy. I went from being a very physical, super fit person, my body breaking down, feeling exhausted, feeling fatigued, gaining weight. Nothing worked. What used to work didn't work anymore. I had to make some huge changes in my life so that I could begin to feel better again, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to live a lot of my life feeling like this, because I also didn't know how long something like that would go on, right? Because I was only 43, and at that time, which was 14 years ago, was it that long ago? Oh my God, can you imagine? That long ago, there was really no one teaching this. There was no one talking about this. I had no idea what I was going through. It was a really scary time. I went to my doctor and got tons of tests done too, because I was like, oh my God, I think I'm like, for one, I think I'm having a breakdown because I can't remember anything. My emotions are all over the place. I have brain fog. I can't focus. I'm talking backwards. I can't remember my next yoga pose. And I was a yoga instructor. So there's crazy things that go on with us emotionally. And then again, physically, I had really bad digestive problems. I had gained the weight, acid reflux really bad, food sensitivities like crazy. What else is my hot flashes? Of course, you get a lot of hot flashes or night sweats, things like that. Fatigue, extreme exhaustion. I got to, ended up in adrenal fatigue and extreme exhaustion. Took me over 3 months to recover from that, while I was taking huge amounts of supplements, as well as completely changing my life. Also, this is a big topic, but stay tuned. I'm just going to kind of give you an overview and give you something to think about. I think when you listen to this, you're going to go think of this phase in such a different way, and it might really help you to move through this phase in a better way. And if you're on the other side, if you are in postmenopause, but are still feeling some of these things I'm going to talk about, then for sure listen to this, because it's true. It doesn't matter where you are now, whether it's perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. Because if you're still going through some unease and unrest and weird stuff in your life, it could be because of these things. So I'm just going to let my group know that I am live. Get into the group. And if you're watching this on YouTube, come and join us in my Facebook group, Women Creating Healthy Lives. It's a free Facebook group for women over 40. And I do trainings like this. I do sometimes challenges, like a 7-day Start Your Day the Healthy Way challenge. I'm going to start probably a new challenge, not this week, but next week. Trying to decide what that, or a masterclass. I'm probably going to do like a 3 to 4 day masterclass next week in this group, which would be all free. So make sure to be around for that. If you're watching this outside of my Facebook group, Women Creating Healthy Lives, come and join us. Okay, I'm just letting the people know I am live. Come on and watch. Okay. This is short notice, but all good. So if you're watching the replay, hello. What I would love for you to do is say hello below, post an emoji or something, because let Facebook know you want to see my videos. If you don't say anything, then my videos won't get as many views, and that way they won't be out in front of you guys and you might miss them, right? And here's also a chance when I'm on live, you have a chance to ask me questions. okay? About anything you're dealing with, you're coping with, symptoms you're having, problems you're having through this phase, any questions you want. So this is such a great time also for you to be here live while I'm on live, so you can have some of your questions answered by me, and we can even have a back and forth conversation a bit. Let me get my book. Okay, so how I started with this, it's not a sickness. Like, remember, it's kind of like when you're pregnant, and people are like, don't lift this, don't do this, sit down, don't let me do it for you. And you feel like saying to them, I'm just pregnant. This is not a disease, right? Well, that's like menopause. It is not a disease. There is not a pill that's going to make you feel better. Not one pill. There's not one supplement that's going to stop all the symptoms. There's not one synthetic hormone that's going to just make you feel perfect again and like nothing's gone, nothing's changing, right? That's crucial for you to know. There is not. So when you ask a question like, what supplement can I take? Or what hormone can help me, right? It's not just one thing. Hello, who's joining you? Say hello. Love to know who's watching. And so great to have you on. Yeah, so this is not a sickness. This is a phase of life. And like I said, I really believe this phase of life has a message for us. We have, as women, usually in our 20s and 30s, we're raising kids. Now, not everybody is anymore. Sometimes don't have them till the 40s. I'm right up, but it is a phase of life, when it's time for our change. Our kids are usually grown. We're in this midlife phase. And in some cultures, the wise woman is the elder, right? Very respected. She's honored, right? And in our society, that doesn't happen. So in the 20s and 30s, we're raising kids. We're really in our doing stage. We're busy. Our focus is on our family. And hello. And now, when at this age, it's more like our kids are to be grown, if we're talking hundreds of years ago. The kids would usually be grown, usually wouldn't be part of the home anymore. Women at that time didn't work, so it was their time to focus on themselves, to be part of a community, to contribute still, but be more of the wise person, right? Honored, her voice valued, your knowledge valued, and a time for you to kind of rest and relax and do more for you. The focus goes off your kids because they are now grown and on to you. But in our society, that doesn't happen because we don't have these clear, rites of passage, right? When you're in your 20s and 30s and then your kids are grown, lots of times the kids are still at home and the mother is still trying to take care of those kids that live in a home, plus work full time, plus take care of the house, plus now take care of aging parents, if that is what you're thinking. So you have so much more stress added on you, which keeps your body out of balance already. So in midlife, it's a time our soul, our whole biological everything, clock or whatever, is expecting us to slow down and take care of us. Because nowadays we are not, then it signals, it's like something's wrong. This is not what's supposed to happen. You're doing the wrong thing, right? It's like all of a sudden at this age, when you start to go through these changes, your job is supposed to almost like finish. It's like, okay, all this do, care for others. It's now that is done. Now you get to focus on yourself. And that doesn't happen in our society. So I really believe that lots of things that happen to us are why this phase is so important is that it is a phase when we are to shift the focus to ourselves. That means internally too. Take care of ourselves. Look at our life now. Have kind of a reassessment. Okay, now what do I want to do for me? And so we will feel these things bubble up. And of like this awareness of like, I think it's supposed to be my time now. When is my time going to be? Thanks for the likes. Hello. Say hello when you're on. When you come on, I love to, have the, when you guys comment, then I feel like I'm talking to a real person. So good. We're supposed to be taking care of ourselves and going inward even too. And so during this perimenopause and menopause and even post, if you're feeling a lot of this unease, anxiety, depression, antsiness, something doesn't fit anymore, something doesn't seem right anymore, my life doesn't seem to be working, I don't know what's going on. Hi, Sharon. You feel this unease within your body, not only emotionally and physically, but something comes up. And so these emotions start to come up to tell you there's things that you now have to deal with, because we are really, if you want to look at us as mind, body, soul beings. We can just take care of our body, but then we are neglecting our souls. And when I think about mind, I think about mindset as in the words you say, the feelings you feel, the thing, like what you're creating. You're either saying, I'm a person who's worthy and deserving and I get to have time for me. That's what I mean by mind, right? You are focused on what is right for you. So it's time for you to focus on body, mind, soul, not body, nourishing, feeding, fueling your body the right nutrients for this phase of life that helps it to flourish, to feel good, decrease inflammation, keep your energy up, help your glands produce hormones because all that is decreasing now, right? So all these nutrients now that are required by your body. When you're in pregnancy, you take extra nutrients. In menopause, you need menopause, you need extra nutrients too. Okay? Your body needs more nutrition. So that's and certain physical activities need to change. And then as the mind, body, mind, soul, the mind is, how are you thinking about yourself? How are you thinking about your life? Are you giving yourself time for yourself? Are you still putting others first and feeling guilty or feeling shameful when you try to do things for yourself? So that's going to become really uncomfortable most often because you are shifting into a new phase of life, right? A phase of life where you are letting go of the control of your kids. You're letting go of so many things. And that may feel really awkward for you. It may feel like, oh my God, I don't know how to be anymore. Maybe your relationship with your spouse is changing or has changed and you're thrown right off, right? So there's these things that happen in this phase of life that I believe all have a message for us. It's like, this is a time of change. And when you fight the change, when you resist the change, when you decide, I don't want to have this change happening. No way. I'm not going to change things. I don't have time. I don't want to. That's resistance. What you resist persists, right? And the more you resist it, the worse you feel. Okay? The more you resist things, the worse you feel. This is a time of change. Change, yes, is awkward and a little hard, but that's mostly because you fight it. Okay? So one thing I've been hearing from women a lot lately is how crazy their symptoms are. Like I've been hearing extreme things over the last couple of years and extreme health conditions. Women just in their 40s and early 50s are going through that they should not be going through. I'm serious. Not at all. So, and why I believe that's happening is because they are not changing their lives. You, in your 30s and 40s and even 20s, you can be very powerful. You can do a lot of stuff. You can be super active. You can work full time. You can raise your kids. It's like you're a superpower. You have superpowers almost. That is, for a healthy person in those ages, it can be that way. But when you get into your mid to late 40s, it's like everything wants to start to slow down. But if you're keeping this high stress state, this crazy busyness, this taking care of everybody, putting yourself last, the high demands on yourself, on your energy, right? It's keeping you going like you used to go, and you're not slowing down or changing it. Your body's going to give out because your body can't do all that anymore if you don't make the changes. So it's like all this, you used to be able to do it, but now you need more nutrition because of the changes going on in your body, right? You need more rest because your body needs more rest because of the changes going on. It's just like asking a pregnant woman to go clean the garage for hours and then work full time. Like we wouldn't do that. But yet we do that when we think of ourselves going through this midlife change. We are changing drastically inside, which requires us to make some changes within our life. And if we don't, all these health issues happen. So if you're having a lot of health issues, a lot of health problems, a lot of crazy symptoms, it's your body talking to you, right? Your body is talking to you in symptoms. Now, yes, it is kind of normal, but I don't want to say normal because in some cultures, they don't experience these symptoms. But in our society, in our culture, it is normal to have hot flashes. It is kind of normal to have the foggy brain. It is kind of normal to be more sensitive to different foods and have digestive problems. It is normal to feel more tired and fatigued. All of these things can be the normal symptoms of this midlife change, right? But when you catch them, when they're happening, they're calling you to make changes. So if you're feeling extremely tired and extremely fatigued, you need to make some changes. If you're not, if you're just walking around saying, I'm feeling so tired, so fatigued, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. Oh my God, what's wrong? What's wrong? I don't know what to do. I can't figure it out. I'll just drink more coffee. Oh my God, what's wrong? Like all of that. That's just a waste of time. That's just a waste of time. Okay, what you do, right, is like, oh my God, why am I experiencing this? This feels terrible. This isn't me. Something's wrong. And I know we go to our doctor, because I did too, totally. We go to our doctor. We expect to be told, this is what's wrong. Here's how you can. But this is our society also. Here's what's wrong. I diagnosed you. Here's a pill. Take that pill. You're going to feel perfectly fine. No, because there is no pill for menopause. There is no pill. It's up to you. You don't need a pill, right? You don't need a pill. That's the easy way out. And anyways, if they even give you synthetic estrogen, it's only going to help your hot flashes. Then you're just going to gain weight. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel bloated. And you're going to feel crappy. Okay? It's only going to get rid of your hot flashes. It's only a Band-Aid, and it actually makes everything else worse within your body. So there is no pill. But going to your doctor to get checked out, blood tests and all those things, to make sure that he says, yes, you're fine. Great. I highly suggest that. Then it's about, wow, I obviously need to supplement, eat better, eat cleaner, eat healthier foods, and supplement with more nutrition, as in super powders and supplements, to help my body through this phase of life. So that's really what's required. But that's not enough, because there is the fatigue and the tired, and your body needing its time to rest, recover, rejuvenate, go through this change. Your body heals, adjusts, rejuvenates, regulates, all of that with rest. But if you're not resting it, if you're fighting every inch of the way, I don't have time, there's no way, I can't do this, I got to take care of this, I got to take care of that, I still work full time, I have no time, oh my God, I can't sleep at night, all of that's going on, everything's just going to get worse. Everything's going to get worse. And that's what I see happening right now. And I think, this is my chlorophyll. Chlorophyll's really good. This is liquid chlorophyll in my water. But make sure you get a liquid chlorophyll without other preservatives in it. I can post a picture of the one I use. So it is yes about supplementation, and it is yes about the super powders, and yes about changing what you eat. But a huge part of it is decreasing the stress in your life and finding more time to rest. And this is what I find women resist, because they believe that they can't do it. And I did this for a while. That's why my body completely broke down. So at the time I went through the midlife phase, I was a personal trainer and a yoga instructor, and I was doing my own workouts with heavy weights, plus mountain biking, kayaking, and mountain running, okay? I worked out 7 days a week. Really hard. Yes, I could do it in my 30s, no problem. Even in my early 40s. But when I began to go through the midlife change, my body began to break down. I became so exhausted, I could barely move. I had to have 3 large venti coffees a day, Americanos. I was still so tired, I couldn't move, barely. My body completely broke down. I had to stop being a personal trainer. I haven't been able to work out with heavy weights since then, and that was 14 years ago. So my body completely broke down because I never stopped. Do you see that? I never stopped when it told me I needed to stop. I kept saying, this isn't right. I can do this. Why can't, on and on. So when my body, I couldn't work out anymore. I couldn't be the personal trainer anymore. My whole identity had to change, because my identity was based on my physical body, right? I'm the super fit girl. I'm the runner. I'm the girl who does adventure races. All my friends did that. My whole community that I hung around with, all my social life was all around races, was around, I taught yoga, was being a personal trainer, was doing my own physical activities. Every second of my day, every day was on physical activity. And that changed in like a few days when I couldn't move my body anymore. My body was so much pain, so much pain. And so this is right. It was like I wasn't listening, but I didn't know. I didn't know that this was a phase when our body was going to give us these signals. And when they gave us the signals, we had to make a change. So I see that in many, many women that I'm talking to now. Their body has broke down in so many ways. And that is like they're finding it so hard to function right now. Either they have or diagnosed with certain conditions now, or pain throughout the body, and they don't know what's happening with all this pain, as well as emotional conditions like anxiety or depression or worry, fear, overstress, overwhelm, right? All of those things. What's happening is your body gets into like a survival mode, and it's trying to handle so many things. And especially if you're being diagnosed with this, with that, and you're still taking care of this, and you're still taking care of that in your life, and your life is still super busy, and you're still trying to handle it all, right? It's not going to be able to do it. And you're going to go down, 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 down in health. It's time to make a change. And that means cutting back on things that you do, finding more time to rest. And it's not find time, you make time. You make time. So if you work full-time, 5 days a week, if you still have to, then I really want you to do it with less stress. Like really decide, my job is not going to kill me. Like I'm going to do the job, but I am going to watch how I respond and not react to things. I'm going to detach from the stress of my work. I'm going to come home. I'm going to make healthy eating simple. I'm going to get people who I live with to help me, right? It's merely about finding your power and really choosing and saying, I'm going to make some changes because I'm not doing well right now. Okay? That is a long conversation, Louise, sorry. I help you with all that in my programs. Why? If you watch from the beginning of the video, I'll tell you that there's not one supplement. It depends on you. So I would have to talk to you, have a session with you, work with you, and guide you. You need there's so many things that I need to say that's such a loaded question. I take super powders. So a green mixed super powder blend, but not all of them are good. So you got to watch that. Like spirulina, chlorella, moringa, camu. Those are just some examples. Baobab is a really good one. There's ashwagandha, but it doesn't taste good, but you can get it in pill form. There's maca, which doesn't taste good, but you can get it in pill form. You should take a multivitamin, B complex, some good oils, zinc, vitamin D. We should all be taking zinc and vitamin D. And my vitamin C is either camu or baobab powder for sure. Lots of those. Green smoothies every single day. Like there's a lot that you can do to add extra nutrition into your day. And I show you all that in my programs and coaching. I do one-on-one coaching too. So feel free to reach out but everybody's at a different phase and everybody's at a different stage and everybody eats differently. So yes, you can also go to a health food store and ask for a formulation for perimenopause, menopause, or whatever phase you're in. So you're in perimenopause if you still have your period. If you don't have it anymore, you're in menopause. If you haven't had it for a year. And then after that, you're post-menopause. Right. I'm going to be doing a program. I believe it's going to be 60 days on exactly things like that, where to start in midlife to begin to bring your body back into better balance. We're going to be talking about body, mind, soul, the food, the exercise, the mindset behind it, because that is crucially important. That helps to turn around the anxiety, a bit of the depression. That helps to move you forward. That helps you to make some changes in your lives, as well as the soul work, like really connecting to you, your body, listening to your body, understanding that it is a time of change and being okay with that. And more so, instead of resisting, more like accepting and loving this part of you and being able to move through this way in a much healthier way. So you're bringing better balance to your body, mind, body, and soul all together. That's what brings your body back into better balance. You need to slow down. You need to decrease stress. Extremely important. No, you can't get it all through food. No, you wouldn't eat enough good food. You could not eat enough good food, Kimberly. There's no way. If you were, but even when I was raw vegan, so I went raw vegan for a year and a half, even raw vegan, I still took lots of super powders and supplements. Absolutely. Our food is not as nutritious. For one, it usually travels a long way. Lots of times it's sprayed with stuff. If you're eating a purely organic, local diet of everything's grown organically and locally, like, so it's not shipped or whatever, and the soil is full of nutrients, which doesn't really exist anymore. Plus you rest and relax. You don't have a lot of stress in your life. And you do a lot for yourself, and you take really good care of yourself and nurture yourself, then you'll probably move through this phase pretty good. Pretty good. But most people aren't doing that. But I believe in the future, what we're going to see is communities, which I think is starting to already happen, like eco villages and communities where people live together, grow their own foods, in herbs, right? So we got to remember, that's a really good point, Kimberly. Makes me think about, like, the Native Indians. They used a lot of plants and plant medicines. All cultures used to. We don't. There's herbalists, people who you can go to and find out what herbs and stuff are good for you. There's wild plants in our environment and wild stuff that we could have that are more medicinal, but no one takes those things. So those are types of the things that we used to do are now in our supplements and in our super powders. Those powerful wild plants, wild fruits, and herbs that are very healing for our body that used to be part of the cultures in the past were all taken away. We're now bringing them back in. That's why people are now taking more herbs and supplements and super powders, Kimberly, because we're bringing those things in that kept us healthy before, that were then taken out of our diet. You know, you're talking hundreds of years ago when they used to go pick wild plants and stuff for healing and helping us. Like, yeah, there's lots of wild plants. I want to find that out in our environment that are healing for us, right? But we've gotten so far away of that because of all the drugs. Because the drug companies make the best money, so that's what they want you to believe, that there's no other way to get healed other than taking drugs. But there is. And there's also the healing that we ourselves do within ourselves. And now all that is coming back, right? So it's like, it's important for us to know that we're not moving into new things. We're bringing back things that used to be, that were very important in life, right? So remembering that we are in control of our energy, as in our energetic body. We are all energy, right? And so when we allow lots of stress in our lives, when we allow lots of negativity in our lives, when we don't give ourselves time to kind of detox from that, or let go of that junk that we carry around, that's mostly other people's stuff and energy. There's so much toxin in our environment. There's in our air, there's so many toxins in our furniture, in our flooring, in our paints, in our hair color, in our makeup. All of that now screws up so many things within our body. Our body can't possibly detoxify fast enough anymore. And so when you can't detoxify fast enough, you build up toxins within your body, right? And so much is unhealthy, right? Yeah, that's a really good question, Kimberly. That's a really good, I would go to either a naturopath or a really good health food store that you can trust. That's why I tend to take pure super powders like chlorella, spirulina, moringa, baobab, an organic clean powder. And I always buy them at a health food store. I never go online because online is just full of junk. But if you find them at a good health food store, and it's really recommended, this is a really good brand, and you find it on Amazon, then you can order it from there. But first of all, talk to somebody. Like when I was going through perimenopause, I was at a naturopath. I bought naturopathic vitamins, which are a lot higher quality and like usually a bit more, I want to say intense, like a little more higher strength, I guess. So I used to get all of my stuff from naturopaths. Yes, it costs a lot of money. Yes, my visa was racked right up to the max pretty much. Because my health is everything. Right? So when I decided to make changes in my life, because my body was breaking around and I got really, really unhealthy, like so unhealthy, you guys, it was my decision to say, I got all my doctors checked out everything. So remember, I went to my doctors lots of times. I got lots of tests. They said I was okay. Everything was okay. So then it was up to me then to go, I'm not okay. I feel like shit. I'm going to fix myself, right? Like I'm going to find out what I need to do. And so I did a lot of research myself. Now, you can still do that. And that's why I do my programs, because I'm able to help you within my programs of trying this. But it's still a great idea to have somebody that you know that you can go to, trust, and get checked out. Maybe get some extra tests done or get certain supplements from them. If you are in adrenal fatigue, if you're feeling exhausted, then that's a really big sign that there's something really wrong within your body. So you can look up adrenal fatigue. And then that requires a lot of supplements and rest. Because if you don't, it doesn't get better. Like it actually just gets worse. Because what's happening is your adrenal glands are exhausted, tired. And if you're not building them up, if you're not building the strength of your body, because when you give yourself, your body needs vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, amino acids. That's its food. But if it's malnourished, it can't function properly. So it's like a car. If you don't have the right parts, you can't fix your car. If you're trying to heal and recover, and let's say you have adrenal fatigue, but you're not supplementing, you're not going to get better because there's nothing to fuel your car, your vehicle. You're not giving it what it needs. It's like, it's telling you, I need these nutrients. And you're like, but I'm giving you a little bit. I'm giving you a salad a day, but that's not enough, right? It's like, I need so many nutrients because I need to rebuild. I need to soak it up. So it's a combination of extremely healthy food, super powders, and some supplements, and then just doing that for a period of time. And you'll notice a change within the first month, usually the first 2 weeks. And so when you begin to notice a change in the first 2 weeks, you're like, holy wow. That's how amazing our bodies are. We can treat them like crap for years and years and years. But soon as we start to really fuel and feed our body what it needs, it soaks it up and it begins to feel better fast. It doesn't mean all your symptoms are going to go away, but you will notice things like more energy. You will notice things like your digestion better. You'll notice your skin will look better. You'll notice that your clothes will fit better. There's less bloating. There's less puffiness. You'll feel more clear. All of those things, because you're starting to fill that back up again. You're like, oh my God, I can feel that I'm doing what's right for my body, right? And you're getting rid of some of that food that's dragged you down. That continually. And it doesn't mean you can't have cake ever, you can't have wine ever, or, it's not that. It's about feeding more of what you need, more of the good to really put those nutrients into your body so that it can begin to, I want to say balance, but that's kind of wrong. To put the things back together, to become stronger. And the stress, so if you're not working on decreasing stress, then it's going to just throw everything off every single time. Because stress, when you have stress in your body, you can't absorb nutrients very well. It blunts hormone production. It affects your digestive system. And a lot of your energy comes from your digestive system. So if it's sluggish and if it's not working good, you will feel very low energy, as well as you won't be able to absorb nutrients very well from the foods. So then the foods you're eating aren't even being absorbed. So there's all these different layers, right, that are part of this. When we don't take time to work on the mind, body, spirit, and then if our mindset is in the down, the low vibe, low energy, our health begins to go that way too, because we are all energy, right? So what we say is so powerful, and what we think about ourselves is so powerful. So when you're continually saying, oh my God, I'm so tired, I'm so sick, I don't feel good, I hate this, I don't want to go through this, I can't make any changes, I'm so stressed, there's nothing I can do, this feels so helpless, I feel so hopeless, right? When we're thinking those thoughts, our body's reacting to them at a cellular level, and therefore our whole physiology changes. And that just keeps us in that down state of not getting better, not getting better, not getting better, only getting worse. Where your focus goes, right? So the mind, body, soul part is so important. And the soul part, or the spirit part, is really you understanding that you are this miraculous, soulful, spiritual being that wants to thrive and that wants to feel amazing, that's inside this human body. And the body is going through something big right now, and it needs to be supported. And it's like the worthiness, the deservingness, the understanding of this change, and deciding, you know what? It's time for me. It's time for me and me to take care of myself and stop feeling guilty for other people. Stop trying to control their lives, because that only takes all the focus off of you and onto them. And then again, you're denying yourself, right? So the message in menopause is basically time for you. No more denying yourself. No more putting yourself last. No more doing things for everybody and then not you. Stop shaming yourself. Stop judging yourself, because that is all wrong. That was never right. Each individual person gets to take care of themselves. Right? So each person's responsible, and I'm not talking little kids or aging parents, right? Each person is responsible for how they live their life. And so it's time for you now to go, I'm going to take responsibility for how I feel, how I live my life, and how I'm choosing to live in the future. Because if I don't change things now, the future's not looking bright. Because if you feel really bad now, what's going to happen to bring you to feeling good again if you don't make those changes? It won't, and that's the sad part, is that so many people start this downward decline and then end up one drug on another drug on another drug on another drug, which gives more symptoms, which puts the body even more out of balance, which shuts completely down your intuition and your connection to who you really are in your body. And that's what we're seeing so much of now, unfortunately, right, in our society. I mean, God, the cases of cancer are out of control. And autoimmune diseases and all these other diseases, right? Denial of self, not taking care of self, not being aware of what you need and when you need it, and not listening to your symptoms. Emotional and physical, right? It's time to listen. It's time to listen and to make the changes. Do you guys have any questions? What time is it? Yeah, I know what you mean by vitamins aren't real regulated. So true. That is a problem. That is a problem. That's why, I would look at super powders, right? The powders. You got to watch mixed green powders, because if they contain too many ingredients, then they have just a whole bunch of tiny, tiny little things, and they usually fill them with a lot of fillers and cheaper ingredients. So if I was starting, I'd start with spirulina. Spirulina is really good. Wheatgrass powder. Baobab, Baobab, is extremely good. It's good vitamin C, calcium, fiber, a whole bunch of good things. Camu, Camu is really good for vitamin C. These are all pure powders, no added fillers, no junk, okay? They go right into your system. You put them in your smoothies and they're right absorbed. High nutrient value, high protein, high antioxidants, right? Some have high essential fatty acids. Spirulina is really big in minerals. So you want to be taking those things. They're the real food. And our body's really meant to get it through food anyways. So food form vitamins or food form super powders. Chia gel is fantastic too, right? I did a video in here about chia gel too. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody have any comments? So that's what I really work on in my programs, is talking about some of the changes that need to kind of go on during this phase of life. You begin to make those changes, small increments, small steps, but in a focused way so that they don't feel overwhelming and so crazy and so undoable. They're not impossible. It's just having the awareness, oh, I see what I have been doing, and now I see what I kind of should do, need to do to bring my body back in better balance. Oh, okay. So I can start doing these things, adding these things, and then you begin to notice the difference and you just continue to move forward, right? In a right way that helps you. Yes, so true, Tracy. Absolutely. Your mind is completely powerful. And so many women come to me, right, to lose the weight or whatever. What can I do? What can I do? And there are things, there are foods, those basic things. Once you figure those out, that's the easy part. The mind will trip you up mostly all of the other time. The guilt, the shame. I can't put myself first. I'm too busy to make changes. I'm too busy. I can't possibly do that. I don't know how to, right? All of these things is what really stops us. But once you kind of have the awareness of what's going on in here, and you have some tools, techniques, awarenesses, guidance on how to kind of change that for you, then you just slowly start to make those shifts. And that's really what's required, right? Is just having guidance, support, and accountability, and kind of the right information that move you along while you're integrating it into your life. So when you're learning the types of foods and stuff, you're practicing by eating them, by making them, by having them. Then when you're learning the stress reduction things and the mindset stuff, you're listening, you're practicing them, you're implementing them, and then you make the changes. That's why programs are so powerful, because you're in it. You're surrounded by women who are doing it too. You're getting the guidance, support. The focus is there. Your intention is there, and you're integrating it into your life while you're doing it. So you're living it. Then it becomes part of your life. So that's why I highly recommend taking my programs or someone else's, whatever, during this phase of life, instead of trying to do it on your own, because you don't tend to have the support, the space, the accountability, the direction or help. And I give you so many recipes that are so delicious, right? That's pretty hard to find on your own. That's why I do what I do, because believe me, I didn't have that. So it was a lot. It was a lot of work. A lot of work for me to try to figure all this out. But I am passionate about it, right? All right, ladies, I have a call with somebody, a client at soon, so I got to get off. But it was so wonderful having you here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate you. Let me know if you have any topics you want me to speak about. I know there was a lot in this video, but I kind of wanted to let you know that this is a time, and the message is, it is time for you to make some changes, but for the good, for you, right? For you to believe in your worth, your deservingness, to love yourself, to find yourself, whatever, right? To connect to yourself again, to really feel your body and begin to make the changes that help you feel more whole by mind, body, and soul, right? Again, move into this wholeness and this newness that is this phase of life. Doesn't have to be terrible, but when we ignore it, when we resist it, then unfortunately it doesn't feel too good. All right, so much love to you. Have an absolutely amazing night. Bye-bye.